What a great way to start such a serious video. Oh my god. I know it's been a while, but damn. How many years have you been making videos, Vic? Hello, internet. My name is Vic. Do you want to be in the video? So this is the update upon update upon update. My YouTube channel is kind of like, not a diary, a virtual document. So growing up, my grandmother made scrapbooks for her 2 daughters and me. And these scrapbooks are immaculate. Little cutouts of cute little things that go with the picture. They're just really good. Growing up, I started taking a lot of pictures. And then I started making videos. Just silly videos to have. Then I started uploading them to YouTube. That channel has since been deleted, but then there was another channel. There's some old content on there that I still have that I still kind of go back and watch sometimes. I've changed so much, but it's so cool. I think part of me has just made that my YouTube. I did try to do the gaming thing. That didn't take off. If you go back and watch one of those and then come back and watch this one, it's not just my voice getting deeper. There's so much that have changed. My views on things, my perception, my awakening. There's some videos on there with some pretty good content. I mean, I have a lot of silly shit in there, of course. Puff time where I smoke a cigarette and talk about life. So I've come a long way, and so has my channel. Even though it's not like the best quality, it's not like a consistent upload, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my gaming channel. The commentary is awful. If I could go redo it and if I had the equipment, I would. Because I just had fun making them. But for right now, I just want to make an update video. Where do I begin? We moved. This is our new spot and our names are on the lease. It's nice to have my name on a lease again. It's been 3 years, almost 4, since my name has not been on a lease. I'm thankful for the places I was able to stay while I was bouncing around. And then with Nat's parents, I am extremely grateful to them for letting me stay until they sold the house. I'm going to talk a bit about that later, like how that's linked into, I think the universe always makes a way. So much has changed. So many things have happened, but we moved, we got out of there. That was like rough for everyone, the whole process. Everyone was stressed out, and I think there's just such a relief. Everyone kind of being where they need to be, except Nat's sister, but I think she's getting situated soon, and it's all good. The road to get there was a road, a rocky road. I also have self-diagnosed myself with autism. There's shit that I did as a child that I could not comprehend why I did that or how or what. I thought it was just weird and different, and it turns out I'm not so different. I'm autistic. I'm not ashamed to be autistic. I'm glad that I'm not alone. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was just weird as fuck for some of the things that I would do or say or repeat, because there's so many different things that go into autism. I don't have to explain myself to anyone on the internet. My mental illnesses are my mental illnesses, and I'm going to use my knowledge accordingly. It's not for clout. It's not for, oh, this is so quirky, cute, fun. I know who I am. I know what my illnesses are. I know how to cope. I'm working on how to cope with some of them. For the most part, autism seems like the easiest one that I have. And a lot of people may be like, how can you say that? Autism disables people. It does, but there's different forms of autism. It's a spectrum. I'm thankful that I was able to teach myself how to mask. There's so many things that were unexplained that are now explained, that now make sense. But it's not like it changes anything. It doesn't make me feel weird that it's autism. I'm high functioning just because I've had years of it untreated, undiagnosed. So there's that. I was medicated for ADHD for a little bit through Cerebral, Wellbutrin. Did not work. Did not work. Made me more anxious, more fidgety. I transferred my jobs. I don't even think I really updated on my job on here after I was plumbing. No, Sir Walter. I don't know if I updated. I cut my fingers open, these two, with a knife. I was cleaning it after cutting mozzarella, and I had it flipped the wrong way, and I pulled it through the rag, and it sliced my ring and my pinky. I have nerve damage in my pinky from it. I had to have stitches in both fingers, and I was out of work, and while I was out of work, I scored a job at Walmart. Well, I got it because my friend worked there, and then one of my old associates, now he's a coach, but he was coming to that Walmart. I was just miserable. I don't really like him. The way he treats women is terrible. He's just fake to everybody. It was just dragging me down, and I had a lot of like mental drainage from there. The store manager was shitty, favoritism. It was just a really fucked up environment. Like, the vibe was off. Every day I hated it. I wanted to leave early. I would hide in the bathroom. And since moving here, I transferred to this Walmart, and it's completely night and day different. The team is a team. Being somewhere that I like to be has made it a lot easier on my mental health. Lastly, I want to talk about my gender identity. When I first started socially transitioning, I was dead set on not having any connection to being a woman. And when I started to take testosterone, I still struggled with that connection. I wanted to completely pass as a man, present myself fully as a man, voice, the way I walked, the way I talked, not just my voice being deeper, but like the way I worded things. There's a lot of things that women have to deal with that men just don't. And men don't understand that. And when you transition, when you've been identifying as a woman for 23 years, and you transition to a man, there's so much that you're trying to unlearn and so much that you're trying to reassess in the mind of a man, and that's fucked up. At the time, I didn't think about that. When I was transitioning, I was like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with my mindset as a woman or how I presented myself, how I carried myself, nothing. I hated that part of myself, and I associated it with negativity. And I shouldn't have done that. I still have a uterus. The Roe v. Wade overturning, it puts me at risk. And it puts everyone with a uterus at risk. A lot of men just aren't acknowledging that. The more I think about it, and the more I connect with my feminine side and myself as a whole, becoming connected to my higher self, and becoming connected to both masculine and feminine, and balancing it. The more I think about it, the more I don't want to identify as a man. I don't. Am I trans? Yes. I'm transitioning from one gender to gender. I want to still take testosterone, and there are masculine features that I would like, but I'm not saying goodbye to my feminine features. I don't necessarily mean features by appearance. I mean features by the way I think, how I express myself. Everyone has the same emotions, but it just seems like men just don't express them. They don't know how, or they're not comfortable with expressing them. I know that that comes with growth, and people can do that. And there are men who do, and not all men, but enough. Enough men are this way. It's not it, you know? That's why I identify as he, they. I don't mind he, him pronouns. I know I present as male, and that's okay. Like, that's what I worked hard for, you know? And I don't mind presenting as male. It's cool. But as far as ideology and personality and expression of emotion, the way I think, they is more fitting because there are masculine and feminine traits in both and everything. I mean, that brings me to another point. And this is the longer one, and I know it's been 18 minutes for me. I'm going to try and leave some stuff in for comedic timing. I have religious trauma. Been over this some, and I know I've talked about it a lot, but I'm traumatized and I need to talk about it. I was raised in a church. When I mean raised, I mean born in my mother's womb in the pew. Not born in the pew. I was in my mother's womb while she sat on the pew. I was born in Rex Hospital, but I continue to go to church every week. Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday when I joined youth group. 3 days out of the week. My weekends, gone. School, church. They put me in dresses. I know, can you imagine? A lot of the pictures in those scrapbooks I was talking about, I'm in dresses. Because my grandma made the dresses. So, that's cute. And again, I'm becoming more comfortable with the fact that I used to identify as she, her. At the time, it was cute, but I still did not prefer it. I didn't like dressing up as a kid. I liked shorts, t-shirt, sneakers. I was a tomboy. But on Sunday, I had to clean up, put band-aids on my scraped knees, wear my dress, be polite. I was polite outside of church, extra polite at church. Smile and talk to everybody because you're a girl and you have to be talkative and friendly to strangers, even though they could have bad intentions. Again, we're talking about these stereotypes that are ingrained in several people's minds, including mine. I was very much groomed to put up with misogyny, basically. But growing up in the church, would go to my little Sunday school class in the morning while my parents went to their Sunday school classes as well. And I'd be with a bunch of kids my age, and we would answer questions, recite verses for pieces of candy. It's a very, interesting format. The parents would be in their little Sunday school meetings. They would be working on different books of the Bible. There'd be a theme that Sunday. After that, we would go into the regular meeting where a preacher, our church didn't have a set preacher. Our church had several. It was always the same, like 5 preachers, but they would rotate, which was cool. You know, they had like stories of like places they'd been, but they would preach for an hour, and that was the gospel message. That message always had to do with letting people know about accepting Christ as their personal savior, because Sunday morning is always when people go to church. Their idea was everyone who came in got to hear the gospel, which is basically the steps to become a Christian. It was Sunday night that they taught about all the shitty laws that everyone still upholds today, even though in Christianity it is taught that the Old Testament, which was before Jesus, their set of laws was different because when Jesus died, he cleansed and washed away all of that, so it was like a reset and like new things set in place. But people don't pay attention to that, and they just blindly follow the Old Testament's laws when times were way different. There's a lot of incest in the Bible, and it weirded me the fuck out. There was also a lot of sexual assault, just overall family fuckery. Like, the Bible is basically just one story about a whole fucked up family that like fucks each other over and fucks each other. Oh, and then Wednesday night was a night for a prayer meeting. All the adults go in the main hall, what is it called? Sanctuary. And they all pray. And I never went into that because the kids had a class. They would teach us some silly little story, or they'd tell like a real life story and then relate it to a verse. And once again, there'd be candy bars for people who could recite verses. We always recited the books of the Bible in order. Could I do it now? Probably not. Let's see. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings. That's it. That's all I got. And that's just the Old Testament. The New Testament is Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. That's all I got. And that's just people's names, right? You learn all that. And then the older you get, the more they involve you in. We also had Vacation Bible School, which was a week in the summer. We went to that every night. That was a little more fun because they had like activities and they had like the bouncy house and stuff. And then they had this guy that did chalk drawings, and it was the coolest shit. Like, he would draw these chalk murals, and then there would be other chalk that glowed in the dark. Glowed in the dark? Glow in the dark chalk that he would use. He would tell a story of the picture, and then he would turn on the black light, and it would look so cool. And I actually had one that he gave me. It got lost in the sauce. Did I have a good time at some of the things that my church did? Yeah, there was a huge difference. Pretty much every kid that went there, every family, had their kid homeschooled. I did not. So I got exposure to the outside world. I got exposure to the secular, is what the Christians call it. There were a lot of new thoughts, ideas. There were different religions, and I never heard of such. All I was taught in my church was other religions were false prophets and false prophecies. Everything else was wrong except Christianity. That's the only way. So we have to tell everybody about it. Everybody has to know. It's the only way to heaven. If you don't, you're going to hell. That's it. That's kind of fucked. Because what if people don't hear about it? They're just going to hell just cause? Just for funsies? When they get there, it's like, why am I here? Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, okay. Down you go. I just think that's not right. And I started to question things. But not until I was in high school. In middle school, I was still like, oh, innocence. When the internet happened, I got more interested in other things and learning about other things. There was a world of things to learn. Again, autism. Hyper-focused on a lot of things. And basically, I spent so many years as a Christian, and that doctrine was just ingrained in me. Now, the older I've gotten, the more I've looked at it, I don't like Christianity. It's not for me. That church may have ruined it for me, but a lot of the examples I see of Christians, not it. Nope. Do not want to be a part of that. I started looking into other things recently. Now, before I just said, oh, I'm agnostic. I believe there's a higher power, but I don't know what it is. But I'm just going to be kind to people and do good things. And karma, I believe in that. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that there are past lives. I believe that there are cycles and people will live. They will live a piece of each life that they need to learn everything. But I've started looking into paganism, but I really am leaning towards Wicca, and I'm very new. Apparently all Wiccans are witches, so I would be a witch if I started practicing Wicca, but I'm not claiming to know anything about being a witch. I've been reading things online. I got a book, and I really want to study. I'm obviously going to be a solitary Wiccan. I don't really know if there's any covens around here, but I'm not ready to join a coven just because of my religious trauma. I still have a lot of ideology and a lot to disconnect from Christianity. I'm gonna dip my toes in Wicca. I'm gonna take it slowly because I really want to practice in something that I'm comfortable with. What I've read so far about Wicca, I really like. They basically just have one law: do no harm and do whatever you want, basically, or do what you will. Express yourself, love whoever you want, just be whoever you want, but just don't be a bad person. I can get with that. Wiccans also don't have anything against Christians. The only thing that bothers them is that Christians believe that their way is the only way. And again, I agree. I believe that whatever higher power you worship, that's yours. Do I know what's going to happen when we die? No. I believe in reincarnation, but what happens once we've learned everything we need to learn? I don't know. We're all floating on a rock in space. I don't know what's going to happen. But while I'm here, I want to make the best of it. I really like Wicca because they're also very nature-based. The earth. And I really can get with that. I really felt a connection to nature. But ever since I took mushrooms, I've really felt more connected to nature. I've been doing tarot for about a year now, and I really enjoy doing that. I really feel connected to the universe, the all. I just feel connected to so many things. I never felt this during Christianity, because I was always talking to God, but God was never talking back. And in Christianity, God is just up there watching us, not really doing anything. People claim that he does miracles, and there's stories of miracles in the Bible, and things happen that aren't necessarily explained, that are like, oh, but it's like, did God do that, or was that the universe? Because in the Bible, it talks about how God was, and then he created the earth. Where did he come from? It's more believable to me that the universe is out there, and there are higher powers in the universe, but the universe is like what controls all of it. Based on where you are and what you learn and what you grow up with, yeah, you're going to worship what you know. But when you learn about other religions, I feel like Christianity is so closed. It's so dark. It makes everything hopeless, especially in Revelation when it talks about how the end times are going to be. Most Christians are saying this is the end times. It all depends on how you look at the world. There's always been war. There's always been hunger, and there's always been all these things that are bad, but like there's also so much good. And people overlook it, and it's a balance. And the universe gives and the universe takes away. Karma exists because it's been proven time and time again. What goes around comes around in ways you may not even realize, but it'll happen. And there's just so many things that point to that versus Christianity. I've lived it. I've been there. I don't want to argue. My beliefs are my beliefs. I'm going to start on a soul's journey. I'm still learning, and I want to do it, but I really want to learn more. I want to learn which gods I want to worship. I'm going to study them. I'm leaning toward Greek, but Egyptian gods are also really cool. But we'll see. I mean, I've got a lot more learning to do. I just got that book, and it has a lot in it. I read the first, 3 chapters last night, and I was like, I got to go back and read through this and start writing things down in my book of shadows, because it's just so much, but it's described so well. But yeah, that's my update. Moved, I have autism, identify as he, they, and I'm Wiccan, maybe? I know pagan. Still detaching from my Christianity dogma. Still reattaching to when I used to identify as a woman. Just all those things that have helped me become who I am today. It's not just what I went through with my transition and what I'm going through. It's also how I lived prior. Has helped me become who I am today. And on that note, I'll catch you sometime. I don't know when that will be. If you stuck it out to the end of this video, thanks again. I don't mind interaction on here. I don't mind talking to other people, but this YouTube is really just for me. It's just like my personal diary. Take that as you will, and have a good one.